Hey, it's Kyle here, and today I'll be reviewing the Kaiju Preservation Society by John Scalzi. John Scalzi is definitely one of my favorite authors. Absolutely love him. Every book of his that I've read so far, I've enjoyed a lot. His works always have a great sense of humor. There's very cool character development. I always find the stories very unique, and I really enjoy them. Even my least favorite books of his, I still really enjoyed a lot. Some of my favorite books of his are some of my favorite books I've ever read. He is definitely one of my top sci-fi authors working today, in my opinion. I absolutely love him. The Kaiju Preservation Society came out a couple years ago, but I hadn't read it yet. I recently went on vacation. I thought this would be a good time to kind of check this book off on the list while I'm reading by the beach, which is one of my favorite vacation activities, is to read a lot. And I really enjoyed it. It hits all the hallmarks of a Scalzi book. Very funny, very unique, great characters, an interesting storyline, an interesting concept. I really love this book a lot. So first off, I'd say, like, if you enjoy John Scalzi, his works and stuff like that, I think you'll probably enjoy this book. If you've never read John Scalzi before, I think this is actually a good book to start with, possibly, because it is a standalone, so you're not getting into a series. It's a fairly short book, so it should be a quick read, but you get a taste of all the things that makes John Scalzi a very talented author. Again, like, it's a very funny story, but there's also serious moments, really cool character development, a unique setting. So I think you get a taste of what John Scalzi is all about before maybe you delve into some of his other books and some of his series. The basic concept for the Kaiju Preservation Society is definitely kind of relevant to our current times. This book is actually set at the start, at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, and our main character, Jamie, is in New York City and is working for a food delivery company and just barely scraping by. Obviously, COVID, big time for the food delivery company, so it's definitely keeping him busy, but, you know, like everybody, he's definitely struggling with the pandemic. He used to work for a tech company, and I won't go into all the details, but he lost his job, and so that's how he found his position as a food delivery person, which is not what exactly he was hoping for out of life. During one of his deliveries, he meets an individual named Tom that he met in his previous career at a party and stuff, and Tom remembers him a little bit and found him interesting. And kind of Jamie becomes his regular delivery person, and kind of strike up a conversation, and Tom basically says, like, hey, I think I have a really cool job opportunity for you. It involves working with large animals, but, you know, this would be kind of an entry-level position for you, but it pays well, and it doesn't seem like you're happy delivering food. Why don't you kind of come on this journey with me? And Jamie basically doesn't have anything to lose. He says, yeah, sure, why not? If it pays good, hate being this food delivery person. Been stuck in New York City a while because of the pandemic. Just a chance to get out of the city would be really cool, and there starts the journey. I'll kind of give you the where the kaiju comes in the title. So basically, as Jamie learns more about his position and then actually ends up where he'll be working, he kind of learns that there's this reality that the majority of the population of the world is not really aware of, but higher ups in government and industry are aware of this fact, and that is basically when nuclear weaponry became common in our Earth, and when testing was happening, it actually broke down the barrier between another alternate Earth, and in this alternate Earth, there's kaiju. So when this happened in the 1950s, when testing was really happening a lot, a couple kaiju broke through the barrier and actually made it into our world. Our governments were able to kind of keep it secret because the kaiju are really not well suited to live in our Earth because of atmospheric conditions and stuff like that. And they quickly kind of died before it became public knowledge. But this made, you know, everybody aware at the top levels, like, hey, there's this other world out there. And so they figured out how to kind of journey between our Earth and this other Earth. And that's where the Kaiju Preservation Society comes on. When they go to this other Earth, they realize, because of a variety of scientific reasons, these creatures that they term kaiju, basically are the dominant life form on this alternate version of our Earth. And so this group, the Kaiju Preservation Society, is kind of established by all the governments on Earth and big industry to basically research on this other alternate Earth, see what we can learn, and also just kind of to protect the kaiju, both from accidentally stepping over the barrier again, but also kind of making sure things from our world don't hurt them. So it's kind of like, how can we learn from this planet, keep this kaiju from getting into our reality again and potentially causing a lot of damage, but at the same time making sure our Earth doesn't damage this other Earth. So I won't get into the rest of the plot, but that's kind of the basic setting of it. And we kind of follow Jamie along as he learns more about this reality, gets to know his other co-workers that are part of the Kaiju Preservation Society. And we have a series of adventures where Jamie's kind of thrust into, from being, first a tech worker, then to being a food delivery person, to now having a very key role in learning more about and protecting these kaiju, and also protecting his co-workers, because this is a very dangerous reality that they find themselves working in. It's a very interesting story. I love Jamie as a main character. He is very interesting, very funny. All the decisions he makes are logical. That's one thing I like about Scalzi. His characters have a certain logic behind them, and they never really make a decision like, well, why did this character make this decision other than to move the plot forward? All the decisions the character make sense to that character's own logic, and it just happens to move the plot along. Again, a very quick read. Really loved it. No complaints. I wouldn't mind if there were more books set in this reality in the future. It doesn't have the same characters, because it is a very interesting concept. So I don't know if Scalzi has any plans to return to this concept in the future, but if he does it as a standalone book, this is really awesome, and I would highly recommend it. So in the comment section below, if you've read John Scalzi, let me know which is your favorite book in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this review, please hit the like button. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time, and happy reading.